Hello,
and welcome to the Jap Attack.
I'm Yajimura, and this is my co-anchor, Shigeru. Today is December 9th, 1941. Yesterday, the glorious victory was won in Pearl Harbor over the Americans. This is truly a day to celebrate, all across Japan. With that, I send it to Shigeru with some minor details.
Thank you, Yajimura. Yes, today truly is a day to rejoice. We have destroyed a number of American battleships and aircraft carriers within the Pearl Harbor naval base. And while no confirmed reports on the number of casualties, the Japanese Navy has high hopes that this was a decisive victory. In fact, we have our correspondent standing by to interview Admiral Yamamoto. Over to you, Darvish.
Thank you, Shigeru. I am here with Admiral Ersuku Yamamoto for an exclusive interview a day after the decisive victory at Pearl Harbor. Admiral, how do you feel about the success of the attack that took place yesterday?
Well, the Hawaii operation was a huge success for the Japanese Navy. I felt my men showed great honor and skill over the inferior American forces. I feel this attack shows the Americans that Japan and its military are not a force to be trifled with.
Very interesting. Second question. Why wasn't a second attack ordered after hearing of the mass destruction that your men had caused at Pearl Harbor and the destruction of the ships?
After the conference with Admiral Nagumo and myself, we determined that the American forces were already heavily damaged enough that they couldn't commence a counter-strike against our ships.
Yes, your Navy is very powerful, and it was probably a decisive victory. My third question. Are you at all concerned by the recent declarations of war against Japan that the United States and Great Britain has declared on us?
No, these recent declarations do not faze me and my men. Because of our recent successes against the American Navy at Pearl Harbor and our successful naval operations on British colonies in Singapore and Hong Kong. These two nations were considered at one time the greatest in the world, but now the Japanese Empire is a force that will bring an end to Western domination on the sea.
Thank you. And my final question. Do you believe your Navy is one of the strongest in all of the Pacific?
Yes. Following their defeat at Hawaii, the Americans will no longer be able to oppose us, leaving the Japanese Imperial Navy full control of the Pacific.
Thank you, Admiral Yamamoto.
Thank you, Darvish, for the report. In other breaking news, we have a correspondent live who is recently off the battlefield. We're getting the report via radio.
Thank you, Yajimura. Well, I'm speaking from an airbase off an island not far from the event. All I can say is that we have without a doubt gotten their attention. Right now, we are broadcasting to you on your television live footage taken by Japanese Zero pilots during the assault on Pearl Harbor. Men across the base are celebrating for their participation in this historic event that will go down as one of the greatest naval victories in the history of Japan. As for casualties, the U.S. has by far lost more than our unit of operation did, receiving intel that 4 of their battleships sunk, 3 damaged, 3 cruisers and destroyers heavily damaged, several hundred aircraft destroyed or damaged, and several thousand killed or at least wounded. Operation Hawaii was without a doubt a complete success.
Thank you for that detailed inside report on this great victory by the Japanese naval force. If we keep this style of fighting up, we will definitely crush those Westerners. My partner and I would like to thank you for tuning in for this segment of the Jap Attack.